Cheers.
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 We're here with the Young Bucks, Old Goats. We're mixed. I thought some were going to be on the left, some on the right. We're all mixed. We're here. Actually, it's odd, even, odd, whatever. We're here to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein case, which is really big in the news right now. And we've been kind of practicing this podcast. And we wanted to release this one on YouTube first because this story is relevant. And I got like super caught up in it. It reminded me almost of like the OJ. Remember the OJ thing?
Yeah, it was big.
Which was so big. I think this case could have been like OJ's case on steroids. Because like in the OJ case, like we got to know those people and they became like celebrities, you know? These people that this dude is involved with are like already super, I mean... Got a couple presidents, you got a prince, you got George Mitchell from the Mitchell Report, you got
Victoria's Secret
the
guy.
Victoria's Secret guy, Wexler.
Leslie Wexner.
Yeah, Wexner. And
big ticket.
who else do we? There's like so many people. He used to have people over for dinner in his house. I'm kind of rambling, but just trying to make the connection of all the people that this guy is involved with. I think like Stephen Hawking went over to his house for like some dinners. Alan Dershowitz, I don't know if I mentioned him. He's the lawyer from the OJ. I think that's what he's most famous for, right? Like the OJ case, and
The curly hair.
he's actually the guy who got him that sweet deal the first time, because this is not the first time this guy's been in trouble.
Right.
We'll get into that, but
2008, I think.
yeah, he got like a sweetheart deal.
13 months and like a work release program.
Yeah, he would leave like 12 hours a day or something to go work.
Chapo style.
Yeah, and then they had the corrections officer, which Officer V here, he's a corrections officer.
You can say my name.
Okay, Rob.
Not that popular.
All right, I just thought it'd be cool to call you Officer V. They would go with him, and they had to wear in business suits, and they would like escort him. He would pay their salary while he was there. Talk about a conflict of interest. Dude. You're paying your guards yourself that guard you.
No.
It's crazy, man. Okay, so this dude got busted 10 years ago for having underage sex ring with young girls as young as 14. That he would
sex trafficking and molestation of 14-year-old girls.
Looking up pornography on his computer too.
Right.
They don't even mention that. That's like
Yeah.
a little crap,
like
but
brushed
yeah,
under the
Yeah,
rug.
compared to the other
Other
stuff at that point.
atrocities that he committed. So he gets busted
With
about.
child porn, I would imagine, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
pornography is not illegal.
No, you're safe, bro. No one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, underage porn, which and he had all the shit filmed that he did too. Like,
Right.
that's part of his deal too. That he had all that shit filmed, and he would his home was all full of cameras, and I think he would just fucking blackmail the shit out of people. You know,
Right.
like, come over, I got a girl for you. Oh, guess what? I got that recorded, man. You know, I'm gonna need you to give me
Right.
$10 million. I don't know. He was living in a mansion. He had several homes. He lived in Palm Beach because, of course, anything fucking crazy that happens has got to be in Florida, right? It's just like we got to be part of that shit. So he had a home in Palm Beach. He had that mansion in New York that was given to him. I think it was
New
like
Mexico. He had a house in New Mexico.
he had a ranch in New Mexico.
Right.
He had Little St. James,
Virgin Islands.
which he called Little St. Jeff, and the locals called it Pedophile Island or Orgy Island. And he would invite people, and supposedly he would give them these girls, and he would record them, and then, you know, that's probably part of his deal, where he would just blackmail the shit out of people. So he got that sweetheart deal like 10 years ago. A lot of people supposedly cut ties with him at that point. Like Clinton said, they didn't deal with him anymore. Obviously, he was still probably friends with Dershowitz because that guy got him off. And then he just kept doing it. He kept right on fucking... He got right back into it, kept doing it. He got busted now because I believe Julie Brown, I think is her name, from the Miami Herald. She just kept going after the story and kept going after the story. And They got him when he got off a plane in New Jersey or New York, and that's how he got in now. They found him, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, where they thought he might have tried to kill himself, or like that wasn't a
Put him
big.
on suicide watch for 4 days after that.
Okay, are you familiar with that? Can you fill us
Well,
in?
I mean, I don't know. Every department has their different, operating procedures. But the department I work for, the way it works, if you're like a high-profile inmate, recently on the news, and you're not a local scumbag that you're not used to being in jail, they're gonna put you on suicide watch automatically.
Right off the bat,
Off bat, because
because you don't have to deal with that shit good.
well, yeah, the first 48 hours of somebody being incarcerated, you're not used to it. That's most likely you're going to try to kill yourself. So
Wow.
that's pretty much automatic. So it wasn't really that the guy was, might have been suicidal, beforehand, but that's just procedure. It's just like a precautionary thing.
Because he was found with marks on his neck, and they didn't make a big story out of it at the time,
Right.
which they probably should have. That investigation never even completed, and then they put him on that, and then they got him off that. Is somebody on suicide watch usually with somebody else, like a cellmate?
No.
No.
It's a
Okay.
one-on-one
And naked,
detail.
right? They take your clothes, make you take your
They
clothes
wear a
off.
Ferguson garment is what they call it. Looks like imagine like a Ninja Turtle suit with Velcro. So it's basically your butt naked, and then you just have like a padded Ninja Turtle suit with Velcro, just holding it together, and you just lay there with nothing, no sheets, no blanket. You eat with your hands. They don't give you spoons or any kind of silverware.
So, would it? Somebody that gets put on suicide watch there that did something to themselves or tried to do something to themselves. So
They won't be coming off in 2 weeks. That's for sure.
okay,
So that's right there. That's very fishy.
yeah, sounds like he bought his
Yeah.
way out of
I mean, it's possible.
suicide
Well, they
watch.
said that the last few days of his life, he was spending 12 hours a day meeting with lawyers. He was emptying out all the vending machines,
Yeah.
To buy for the other people.
paying people's commissary.
Yeah.
Which that's
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 I mean,
weird.
those are red flags that the guy's trying to kill himself. I
really.
mean, somebody does that in our cell, in our unit, where I work in, and that guy's definitely going to the psych unit in a Ferguson garment. I mean, those are things that you look for, The guy's curled up in a ball in a fetal position, crying all night, or
Well, they said he was
No.
sleeping on the floor too. They
Yeah,
refused to
that's-
sleep in his bed.
That he wasn't like even bathing. I think I read that same article
Yeah,
you read.
he-
It was like the last
He looked
days
terrible. He had scruff in his beard. He looked a mess.
of. Did you hear about the girl that went to visit him? Like a young girl?
14 years old.
No. It was a young lawyer,
Oh,
and he got to be with her for a while. I mean, that was weird. That he was with like a young woman by himself. Supposedly, he had that conference room for the lawyers on lockdown. He would like be there 12 hours at a time
yeah, he's got money.
with them, right? Paying the lawyers to be, and then like. Did you guys see his original cellmate? Some guy. Do I have the other phone here?
That's another thing I wanted to say too. Like back when I started correction 17 years ago, we used to classify LNL or lewd and lascivious or any child molester or sex offender. We used to classify them separate from everybody else. Then they passed a certain law in about 2015, I believe. That all stopped. So now everybody's housed together.
So you had like a
They
separate
put him
area
in the gem
for
in
those
the gem
guys.
population.
Yeah, we used to keep the sex offenders separate because even you're a carjacker or a thief or a murderer.
Yeah,
or
that's the
nobody
guy.
cares. In there, they don't care about that. If
Right,
you're a
there's
sex
a
offender,
different-
you're something else.
right. They have a different code of ethics from everybody else, but sex offender to them, that's pretty much the bottom of
Look at that guy. That was his cellmate.
bottom
Nicholas
of the barrel.
Tartaglione.
This is an ex-cop who was charged with a quadruple homicide in a gone bad drug deal. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to see him from here, but you can look him up. Nicholas Tartaglione. This guy's ripped. He probably raped Jeff a few times. He wanted to get him out of there. They didn't get along, and he was in there the first time that he tried to, or allegedly was found with marks. So the people used to get special treatment. Those
Used
dudes.
to.
Now they're like, all right, you go
Now
in there with everybody.
everybody goes with everybody.
How fucked up is it that we can't just be happy that this guy fucking killed himself? You know, that should be like, yay, fucking child molester killed himself. Nobody's fucking happy about it. Everybody's pissed because you know there's like fucking powerful people that just are so glad that he's gone. You know, because they're not gonna get
Linked to the guy.
Yeah, I think there was definitely like some sort of foul play there. I mean, that's just my opinion.
This is the one where like conspiracy. I always like a good conspiracy theory. At least I like to listen to them. You know, sometimes they're entertaining, even though there's people on both sides. There's people. No, they don't like conspiracies at all. And then there's people who, I think you kind of like them a little
I
bit,
like
at least to
conspiracy
listen to
theories.
them. I don't know how much you subscribe to them, but I know you listen to. I listen to them too.
I
But
listen
this
to
is the
a lot.
one where like non-conspiracy and conspiracy people came together, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, something's fucking wrong there, man.
Yeah, something's
Too many
definitely
powerful
wrong.
people linked to that guy.
Yeah.
And what a weird, I mean, guy's a piece of shit, but like just a weird character besides all that. Like the artwork he had in his house. Do you guys see any of that artwork? He had like a
Like
painting.
Clinton?
He had a painting of Clinton in a dress. Which
That
is
was
like,
in his house.
that was in his
Right,
house.
Yeah, they found that in his house.
That's definitely strange.
Yeah, he's in like a Monica Lewinsky type dress, and he's like pointing at the camera.
He has like heels on.
So he had somebody make that for him, paint that for him.
there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I saw that.
Would you
Yeah.
mind showing that to them real quick over there so they can see?
That was in his house. They found that painting in his house.
Yeah, I looked into that too. He didn't have it specifically made. A student made that for some project, and thank you. And he bought it.
I remember when you sent it.
Yeah, he also had a painting of like a jail with guards, corrections officers, and him in the middle of the jail. And supposedly, like, he had that, you know, to remind him, this is what could happen to you, you know, if they catch you slipping again. Which is really weird. Then he had, like, mannequins hanging and stuff.
Oh. Yeah, it's weird.
A lot of nude women. Paintings of nude women. So, look at my notes, my trusty notes here. In my daughter's little booklet here. I'll make sure I rip these pages out. So many weird things. There's so many, like, you know, going into a rabbit hole. There's so many like different rabbit holes within the rabbit holes you could take. He would bring a lot of scientists to his house, and a lot of good-looking women, not underage women in this case. I don't think there were more like smart women or women in some type of position that were, you know. And this is how fucking fucked up this guy was. He wanted to improve the human race with his DNA, and he wanted to have, he kept talking to these scientists about this project where he would take like 20 women to his ranch in New Mexico and impregnate them to improve the human race. And like he kept trying to like
It's pretty funny.
figure out like how to do that. And
It's very narcissistic and weird.
yeah, this guy's like narcissist number one.
Not anymore.
No. Did you guys see the drone that they were flying while they were raiding his house? It was kind of cool. Look it up later. You could see it on YouTube. There was
Oh, drone footage.
yeah, and you see the like in that suppose that window were open right there, and the guy comes with the drone, and you see all the FBI and I don't know why it was NYPD. I guess because that's where they got him. NYPD were in the house boxing stuff up, and then you see him like put like some sheets up to cover it. It's kind of interesting. You get a good look at his island.
I think he got charged though by that what they call the 12th district of New York, whatever. I think that's what charged him, and I think those are the same people that are still investigating Trump. That they've been investigating him for a long time. Supposedly, those people don't screw around. Those lawyers there.
Yeah, when it comes to any child crime, I mean, no matter where you get arrested for it, they're always going to try to hammer you, no matter what.
Yeah,
no matter
but
where you're at.
I don't remember the outrage, or I don't remember the story didn't get steamed that first time. The guy who gave him, did we already talk about this? The guy who gave him the deal was that guy,
Acosta.
Acosta,
Costa.
who ends up being Trump's,
He was the secretary of something until recently. I don't.
yeah,
even
he was in
know
his cabinet, right? It was in
Yeah.
Trump's
what.
cabinet.
And he resigned.
When this thing came up, he stepped down. Supposedly, he said, that the lawyers were like on him all the time, and then there was some irregularities there where they gave him the deal, but they didn't inform the victims, and they were supposed to inform the
Oh yeah,
victims.
that's a law. That's law.
Yeah, and they never did that.
He screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget all those girls, that got, their lives are screwed,
I know,
Hopefully not
those are the
forever.
ones that people know about. Because guaranteed that there's things that guy has done to people that nobody has known about or nobody will ever know about.
Hundreds.
That
You
is
don't
the
even
first-
know that guy might have killed people to get rid of him, and nobody will ever know that.
The first trading company he worked for, I read up on that. He got fired from there, or he was
Oh,
asked
really?
to resign, and they never really
Said why?
said why. So who knows what he was doing there, But supposedly he was like the golden child, and then from one day to another, hey, you gotta go, man. So
So weird that a Victoria's Secret guy would like entrust all that money
well, that was
to him.
yeah, he had power of attorney, man, over everything, buying houses, selling houses.
That New York mansion, which is 21,000 square feet,
Damn.
it's one of the biggest private houses in New York, and that used to be that guy's, that Wexner guy,
Right.
and then somehow like that got transferred to a corporation Jeffrey owned, and then to another one, and like it at the end of the day it was like for no money. It was like for nothing.
Yeah, the Wexner guy was like his big meal ticket. That's when he made it like real big.
Yeah, that might have been where he met a
That
lot
was
of
like his
other-
first like billionaire client that he had.
So like immediately people started saying conspiracy, Clinton body count, which that could be another podcast. That's interesting to me. You guys heard about that?
Yeah,
The
it's
Clinton
crazy.
body. You don't
No, I
subscribe to any of that?
No, that's crazy. That's
You
just
don't think-
crazy
no.
stuff.
You heard about the Clinton body count?
Mm.
You ever heard about that?
No. I'm not real big on conspiracy theories, but this one.
Do you
know,
like
the whole-
do you when you hear like something you're like, ah, it's
Not,
bullshit.
not really, but
No? You just don't care.
just don't care. But this one, because he, offed himself in a correctional facility and stuff, and I know like the procedures and most,
Struck a chord with you.
yeah, I was like, that shit doesn't sound right.
But
No,
generally
none
you're
of
not
us-
interested in a conspiracy theory.
No.
How about you?
Generally, no.
When you hear
Just-
when you hear about conspiracy theories, are you like interested in them or
Yeah, like it gives you an idea. Like, say, like something happens, is like, oh, if you want to hear a side of the story, be like, yeah, that's a good idea. What happened, or what happened in the shadows, or something like that. But I could get behind a good conspiracy theory.
how about you, Freddie? You're not. I would think you're the type of person that would, but you're not. You don't really probably like
Nah.
subscribe.
Subscribe to conspiracy theories?
Yeah,
Not really. It's too illogical.
like you don't
for
even
me.
listen when like somebody's like, "Man, we didn't land on the moon." You're not like, "Man, maybe I don't know. I wasn't fucking there." Or you're like, "No, man, that's fact."
No.
So you trust the government.
No, I don't trust the government.
What's your level? No, what's your level of trust from 1 out of 10 in the government?
With the government,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5, and that's stretching it.
So half the time they're lying to us, or
Half the time they're lying to you, and the other half they're keeping information away from you. That's what they do, which is the same as lying.
okay. How
That's
about
what-
you?
That's
Not really.
people are good at that. People are always good at that. In general, humans are good at keeping not as much lying as much as keeping information
Withholding?
away, keeping you misinformed so you can make the correct decision. Because if you have that information, you'll make another decision. Look, he laughs.
No, I'm just saying because you use the word humans, like you
People in general do that though a lot. You know what I mean? True or not true?
I mean,
People like to give misinformation or
I work
lack
for
of
the government, so I
information.
can't really disclose it.
If you don't have the information
I'm a 10 across the
that you need, you can't make the correct decision. You can't use the data if you don't have it.
Right? How about you? 1 to 10. How much you trusting government?
I thought it was if we believed in If we like conspiracy theories.
I don't remember what
Bro,
I
I
asked.
distrust the government so much that I wouldn't even, when I get old, I don't even want to have like vaccinations. And I see a lot of people do that stuff.
Oh,
when
I
they get
like-
old, and I'm not even, I have no interest
I
in
don't think
doing
old people
anything.
get vaccinations. do
Yeah,
most old people do that.
they? Okay.
Nah, it doesn't really matter once you're old.
I like
Something.
conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I
How much
don't-
do you trust the government?
I don't generally listen to them, like agree with them, but I like to listen to.
What
other
was the
sides
question? Do you trust the government or do you like conspiracy theories?
Do you like
You
conspiracy
kind of like
theories?
mixed them
Both
both
together. Give me the answer to both.
And
I already said you like
Guys
conspiracy
playing
theories.
Jedi mind tricks.
the government.
No, we already answered about the conspiracy theories. Yeah.
Yeah, the government for sure. Probably like a 5, like Freddie said. I'm sure they're not always lying to us, but for sure.
I'm a 10, bro. I mean, I work for the government. I can't. Yeah, you looking at me.
Uh,
I'm a 10 all the way.
For sure, keeping a lot of stuff from us.
How about you, Luciano?
Yeah,
1 to 10.
Depends, cause I mean, I go for like saying like jumps like kind of like halfway 5, cause when you think, I don't know, I just literally just seen it like in TV today. It's like
I want to trust them less than you guys, so I'm going to say 4.
I was like, now you're Freddie.
Anyways, that Clinton body count is supposedly like a lot of people that get into contact with the Clintons that like have information on them or are not in the same camp with them or like just like an opponent of theirs end up dead. And there's this whole list starting back with this guy that was in their Bill Clinton's cabinet that committed suicide. On the list, there's a lot of suicides. There's a lot of plane crashes. There's a drowning. There's the most common one is suicide. So that's why they say there was a lot of people saying Jeffrey Epstein suicided. That's what they say it when they.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Frickin' Trump retweeted somebody saying that he was suicided by the Clintons, which is crazy that the president retweets that.
Oh, he's obsessed with the Clintons. That's a whole nother podcast, too.
Yeah. No, I want to do one on that body count. Whether it's true or not, I'm not saying it's true. I love the Clintons. Don't kill me. Don't suicide me.
I mean,
But
it's not far-fetched, man.
it's interesting.
I mean, I don't know how much a correctional officer makes over there in the whatever facility he was at.
Supposedly
in
they're
New York.
grossly understaffed.
By,
I mean, the
by
office-
under 60 people, I read. They were understaffed by 60 people. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly everywhere. Just law enforcement in general. You know? I mean, most of our facilities, we shut down facilities just because we can't run them because we're understaffed. So we used to have 5 when I first started. Now we only got 3.
3 in Miami?
Yeah. Got Metro West, TGK, where
The
I
good
work
old,
at.
how about the good old stockade?
Stockade is
Remember
closed
the
down.
stockade? Yeah, they closed
is
that down.
closed Yeah.
That's where this guy was
closed
at.
down. Stockade was closed down.
Yeah, but that's old. That's
Yeah,
the old. They
Stockade
used to
looked
be
more
dirty,
like
old
a
and-
concentration camp,
and
more
dirty,
like a jail.
dude.
Yeah.
Super dirty.
I mean, they're all dirty. It's a jail.
Cochino. Yeah, but the stockade was extra filthy.
Yeah, well, the jail, the pretrial, the one downtown, that's the real bad one. But, I mean, this guy, back to Epstein, if, this guy really wanted to kill himself, and there's a guy, doing checks on him, like, if you're not on suicide watch, normally they'll check on you maybe every half hour, or maybe every hour, depending on what classification he's under.
Well, they
They
didn't
were
check on him for
supposed-
3 hours.
They were
supposedly.
supposed to go every 30 minutes is what they said.
I mean, the guy, 30 minutes is normal. That's a secured management unit, what they call, which is like what I work in. That's like high profile people, red jumpers, not your average inmate. But you offer an officer there, 1.5 million or something. Hey, don't do a check in 3 hours. I'm gonna kill myself.
Can you pay me first?
I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah, of course.
I could work 30 years where I work, and I'm not going to make 1.5 million. Not that I'm saying that I would take the money.
Of course
I'm
not.
saying I
You're a
won't take
man
the
of
money.
honor.
But just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it would be really easy for me, as if I were, a millionaire, and I was caught up in that situation, to get my lawyers, who we know, can I get another one? To I'd probably have an unsavory lawyer, anyways, because like there's like a special section in hell for all those guys. I'd be like, you know what you need to do? You need to get somebody to talk to Officer
D.
Officer Dick. And when Officer Dick gets off and he's out,
Right.
you need to meet up with him, and you need to offer fast. Offer Officer Dick X amount of money, so when he comes in tomorrow between the hours of 12 and 3 a.m., he's gonna take a nap, and that's when I'm gonna kill myself.
I mean, he's got money, so he could. I mean, his lawyers or him or somebody that works for him could have done the research on whoever works there. You know, whoever's down on their luck, maybe going through a divorce.
This one works overtime all the time. He's here all the time.
This guy's got bad credit. This guy's losing his house. You know.
Yep.
You know, it's easy, man. It's all
Follow these guys around.
It's
He
all
had a
public
month.
information, man.
He had a month to do his reconnaissance.
Yeah.
I just-
you pick the wounded deer. You know, take him down.
That guy's such a narcissist that I have a hard time believing he killed himself.
Hey, you'd be surprised, man. Be surprised.
He's bought himself out of it one time.
Yeah, well,
Already.
you know, maybe he fell. You know, this is it, man. Gone too far.
There's a lot of people happy that he's gone. That's for damn sure. I just hope they keep going after all these people. They haven't caught the lady,
Maxwell was her
Yeah,
name. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell, who's like his madame.
She's missing.
She's on the run. They spotted her in an In-N-Out burger in California. They said
On Saturday.
I would be there too.
Yeah, I doubt it that it was really her. Here's some more of the names the dude was involved with. Thomas Pritzker. He's the Hyatt owner. I believe he was accused also.
I what the hotel chain?
Yeah. The governor of New Mexico, or I believe this is former governor of New Mexico,
Well, I saw that.
Bill Richardson.
Mhm.
We already spoke about George Mitchell from the Mitchell Report in baseball, for you baseball fans. We already spoke about Dershowitz. We already spoke about Prince Andrew. We already spoke about the Wexner guy. Trump, Clinton. Dude, he even had like meetings with Bill Gates.
He never got a degree either. He went to a bunch of universities, never got a degree. And the reason they said he never got a degree is because he felt he was smarter than all the professors there.
That's crazy.
That guy needs to be a real dick.
That's crazy that you could get to that position. Just sounds like he just bullshitted his way to.
Nah, he was a smart guy. I mean, he knew his shit. I mean, mathematic wise, and as a financial advisor and whatnot, the guy was.
Well, he had this
Top-
other business
top notch.
where he would rent these girls out for $100,000 a night.
Yeah, that's a different story.
He settled 24 suits, or he had 24 lawsuits against him. Many of them settled out of court for $1 million apiece.
Wow.
So there's no doubt about this guy. The only thing that we're not gonna, get clarity on is how involved all these other people were and how deep.
The rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, I just hope they keep going after all these people. And Clinton was on his plane like a bunch of times, dude. And we know,
We heard that thing about Trump where they had like a party of 50 people
yeah,
and it was 48 girls and
Yeah.
him and Trump.
yeah. We know about good old Bill,
crazy.
He
I mean, unless they got like some.
he liked the young girls.
hardcore like evidence, like they find like some like book with like everybody's name on it, or like some video footage of everybody, doing all kind of shit. I don't think anything's gonna happen really.
And
He's
if
dead, so they
and
say
if they had
dead
it,
man tell no tales.
yeah, if they had it, let's just talk crazy. Let's say they had it, right? They have the tapes. Clinton's there in an orgy with all these people, Maybe Trump is in there too. Don't you think they're gonna be like, man, this is a matter of national security. We can't tell everybody that we got this tape of these people.
There was a
doing all this
case
stuff.
similar, not similar to this, but it had a little similarities. You don't remember like 20 years ago? These guys probably don't remember.
He was born 20 years ago.
He was floating somewhere in his dad's nuts. But 20 years ago, there was a lady that her husband used to pimp her out. She was like some sort of sex fiend. She was like she had to have sex
Like a nympho?
yeah, she was a nympho. She had to have
Nymphomaniac,
sex like
right?
20 times a day. Do you remember that, Freddie?
Is it the man that used to sit in the closet and watch
Yes.
his wife have sex?
Yes.
I heard
Kathy something.
I
was
heard
her
about
name.
Yes. And,
She was
and there was a
she was
book.
a stripper, and her husband used to sit in the closet
Yes.
and masturbate while she had
Not
sex
Kathy
with other
Willits.
men.
That's somebody else.
Kathy
right?
Willits.
That
Is that
That's
her?
it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
it.
I remember
And
the
then there
case.
was a book that
what
they
does that have
had,
to do with
and it had a. Well,
Oh.
I'm saying that the book had every like
The
high-
clients.
high
And
end
people,
people.
Was she involved
Broward
with-
council
Was
members.
she involved with
Yeah.
Clinton
And a
at all? No,
bunch of
right?
No,
people.
but Broward council members.
It's
went
during
down
that
with
era,
it.
though.
Yeah,
because
it was in that era.
It's
That's
it's
why
just-
I mentioned.
You know what it is? It's the whore names that I remember
It was
from
in
my
the
youth.
ear- it was
The
in the
whores were
early
Kathy
90s,
Willits,
right?
Paula Jones,
Paula Abdul.
Early 90s. That was in
Monica
the early
Lewinsky.
90s.
Poor girl. She was a
Yeah,
young
it was
girl.
in the early 90s.
Who were all the other Clinton ones? There was a bunch that came out. Paula Jones,
But I remember that the book. That
Anyways,
famous,
yes,
it was
go
like a
back.
black book,
with all the people's
and it
names.
was like high end, like top.
But wasn't
Clientele.
her husband a,
Right.
a Broward County sheriff
Yeah,
on top
something
of that?
like that. The guy was
The guy had
like,
issues, dude.
yeah. And I don't know. The guy had
He arrests you.
a
Come fuck
flaccid
my wife.
tallywhacker or something,
weird.
but he couldn't
It's
keep up
weird
with
that
it,
you would
know?
have a job like that, being a cop, where you have to like make people you're subservient, but then when you go home, you're the bitch watching your wife screwing somebody else.
But he obviously had some fucked up thing
Kink.
that he liked.
Yeah,
there.
that's weird. It's kind of
Good old
sick.
Kathy Willits. So don't you think
So you knew her.
that if they, I was not in that Blackwood, I did not have relations with that woman. That they would be like, man, there's no way this can get out.
What she looks like now.
The whole government, we'll Google it later. The whole government will fucking topple. You know, like, this, we can't release it. Burn the fucking tapes.
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
I don't think anybody can handle that.
Can you imagine if they come out with tapes released? Trump and Clinton and this
Steven
and that. And
Spielberg.
that. Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Everybody that you know and love.
Morgan
He probably
Freeman?
has them without having.
That would be crazy
That guy
if you
can
saw
get
some
poo
crazy
wherever he goes.
celebrities
He don't have to
like
pay
that.
for him, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for Poon,
Nah.
man.
No way.
Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, that guy's paying for Poon. He was probably on there. He
Well,
looks like a-
we're
Liam
never,
Neeson?
we're never gonna know.
Yeah, those guys look like creepers, man, big time.
I'll
It's
be
funny, like,
sad
just
if I
working
found
in a
out
jail
Liam
so
Neeson
long
was
is, like,
into the freaky
You
stuff.
kind of
like that.
like get like a sixth sense of like when you see somebody, like I could tell like on somebody, like even if the guy, I didn't look at his charges. Like if I see a guy in my unit, I'll be like, yeah, this guy's like a sex offender. And 9 out of 10
They
times,
have that
like,
look, right?
They have like a funny little look. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I bought my house, I was I would look to make sure there wasn't any of them around. You know,
Yeah, they're everywhere.
we had a bad
Yeah.
experience,
It's everywhere.
so we would get on that database that they have to register, and then it
I
shows
don't
you.
wanna, like piss on your parade, but most of them don't register. So I
Really?
don't know.
Oh, don't they have to though?
They put out a warrant for your arrest,
yeah,
right?
They do, but
Okay, but like if I know one's here, I'm not gonna go ahead and like.
Right,
knowingly-
right.
That happened to me. We had a house that we really wanted. The dude was right next door.
wow, yeah, it's
Then-
a little too close.
Yeah, right next door.
Yeah.
Then down the block there was another one. It was like a nest.
I mean, dude, they're everywhere.
They're
bro.
everywhere, like-
they're everywhere. I've gone home from work.
Yes,
and
but
taking my kids to school, and then the girls outside, like the patrols or whatever, handing out flyers with the sex offenders, and out of the 20 guys there, 5 of them just got released from my unit.
I mean, we're here in an area that's not. There's not that many houses,
Right.
and there's
That's
still
true.
there's
No,
still.
right here, there's not gonna be no sex offenders.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
we had a hard time.
donkey fuckers.
Well, that too, but that doesn't. I don't think they have to register, do they?
Can't they charge you?
Unless they get caught. Unless somebody sees
I
it.
Some
heard
other
somewhere that you can be
bestiality
charged
website.
as a sex offender if you get caught urinating in public.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
true?
Well,
Yeah.
it's not sex offender, but it's a lewd and lascivious act.
It's like if
It's
There's
like
different
a-
levels.
It's like an
Yeah.
indecent exposure.
That's
right?
crazy though, dude.
I mean, doing, pissing on the side of the road and somebody seeing, your dick or whatever, and then you having sex or molesting a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah, obviously
It's a
But you
big
still got to
fucking
register,
difference.
right? If they catch.
I mean,
so what? They
There's,
can take it to
there's
an
sex
extreme.
offender and there's predator.
right. Sex
Predator is
offender-
like you're
right.
like the predator from the
A
movie.
sex offender could be, like that, like whatever, or you're wearing
Decent
like,
exposure.
yeah, you're wearing like like real short, like swimming trunks or something. You're like in a public pool.
Nut
and
pops
you-
out or something.
something like that. Something.
Little
of that
kid sees
nature.
it, you're in trouble.
But I mean, once you're charged with like molesting a girl or any sexual battery on a person or something like that, that's a whole different ball game. I mean, back like 10 years ago or 7 years ago, they used to have they couldn't even live anywhere because they had so strict laws of how far you got to be from a school, how far you got to be from a park, how far you got to be from a Chuck E. Cheese, anything. Like these people were living in tents, like refugees, like just came from a third world country. They were living by the.
Do
by
they have halfway
Miami
houses
Beach.
for sex offenders? Does that
they
exist?
They don't.
Those ones
Nobody
should.
wants to help these people.
Not help them,
people
but at
are
least
like-
contain them, I guess.
Are like the lepers of.
You know what we should do? We should be. You can only live here. There's these. I don't know how many ever you are. Enough space for them.
It's a lot of them.
We got some apartment buildings. You can only live in those apartment buildings over there.
How
all of-
about it with each other?
All of you live together
I mean,
over there.
But it's
I
like
was
he said, like,
actually
it could be
watch-
somebody seeing you pee. Like a little kid sees you, tells his mom, and then
Okay.
Because I've heard
There's
of that before.
degrees.
That's why I said
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
the peeing guy. I'm not
'Cause
sending
I've
him
seen
there.
it on,
but the
I've
other
seen it on
people,
TV
I'm
on
sending
cops,
them there.
dude.
Right.
I've seen cops go up to somebody and arrest them in different states just for peeing in public.
yeah,
Especially if you're drunk, they're gonna arrest you most of the time for that.
right.
so an apartment building,
Or a
With all
cave,
the
or
high-
an
I mean,
island,
but
or
that's-
whatever.
high level.
That's not gonna. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but that's not gonna happen, man.
Why?
Because just the way society is.
What? There's gonna be like, oh, we can't
Yeah,
do
it's-
that.
this is
That's
a-
what I'm waiting for.
I seen a show.
This is a
Recently-
lenient
Have those come
society.
out?
I saw a show in Europe, somewhere in Europe. I think it was in Sweden or something. They have like a society of pedophilia, man, of fucking people that they're there, and it's
I
like
think I've heard about this.
it's like a group, like
Yeah.
you go and like they feel like they're victims of society because they have this,
That's crazy.
they have this
Disease.
urge. Yeah, they don't call it disease, but they have an urge to be with a young person, and it's taboo in society to do that. So they feel like if they act upon their urges, they're gonna go to jail or go to prison for the rest of their life. So they're basically like have to live like in celibacy their whole life.
You know what's crazy?
So
That
to
like
them, they're like they're victims.
Yeah.
because they're attracted to young people always.
Yeah.
That's,
can't help themselves.
That's weird.
Me working in a jail, I can tell you all you guys right now, honestly, these people can't help themselves.
They're sick.
That's what
Something
I
is the wiring is
is
different.
messed up in their head.
Yeah, it's
Because there's one thing meeting
It's a
somebody
compulsion.
that's young, and then because back in the day, like I don't know about your parents. My parents didn't meet that young, but I know of a lot of people my age that their parents was like, yeah, my dad was 20 and my mom was 15,
Right.
and it was not like such a big deal,
I mean,
But
but-
then they've been together the rest of their life.
Right.
At that time,
I mean,
just
I've seen
social
that.
norms.
I've seen that.
have
I've seen
changed.
kids get charged for sexual battery or LNL, and they're like
Lewd
19.
and lasciv-
Lewd and lascivious.
Yeah,
Right.
that could be
We're
for
not even
statute.
the
That could
They're
be
lingo.
19 years old, and the girl's like 16.
That could be for
I mean,
statutory. Yeah. The
At 19 years
parents-
old, you're a fucking kid yourself, man. You know?
But the law says you're an
Now, if
adult.
you're 40 years old and the girl's 16.
There's a whole nother difference.
Yeah.
or you're 66, like my boy Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's fucked up that we
It's a
can't be
bit of a
happy he
stretch.
killed himself.
Shit, I'm happy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not. It's like a double-edged sword. You're like that. That guy should have faced the music.
I mean,
That guy should have brought some people
It
down.
would have been a huge waste of money, though. Would have taken forever.
yeah.
A lot of
And
taxpayer
and
dollars
it's
gone
and
waste.
it's a luck of the draw, man. Because
Oh man, speaking of that, how hard is it to kill somebody here when they've done fucked up shit? Those people are on death row like 20 years on average. I think
Yeah.
we gotta be paying to feed and house and guard that guy. I guess they want to do it
because
because
guarding is okay.
they keep.
And if they have a public defender, the taxpayers pay for their appeals, don't they? If they have a public
They-
defender, we pay for their appeals, don't we?
But they keep finding
Public
people.
pretender. It's not a public defender. They call it public pretenders. Yeah, they don't,
Yeah, that's garbage.
They don't save anybody.
Yeah, they don't
It's
do
like-
anything. Dude.
But they keep finding those
they got
people
a stack
that they,
of papers like this on the desk with all different
exonerate
names.
them.
Yeah.
oh, DNA evidence has found they didn't kill him. It was, oh man, they were about to kill him. You know, now he's free man. So I think that's part of the reason why they have that weight.
I mean, he had a lot of money, so it's hard to tell like that he would have gotten the hammer.
No. I don't think he was up for it.
But
He was going to be there the rest of his life, though.
Do you know how they kill people in China when they're sentenced to death? Do you know what they do in China? Do you have any
chopsticks
idea?
up their ass. I don't know.
Chop their
When
head
you're
off.
sentenced to death, they take you right out into a yard. They put you in front of a shooting, whatever they
Firing squad, I
A
believe.
firing
is what you're
squad.
looking for.
You're shot, and your family gets charged for the bullet. A lot of people don't know. Did you
The
know
bullet
that?
was $5.
Yeah, I think that's.
They literally do that. They will charge your family
Yeah.
for the bullet if you have.
We should
I
family.
think Saddam Hussein was doing that too.
Should we give him
crazy.
the option?
To charge for the bullets.
No. You're on death row. You want us to just get over with it?
I mean,
You want to just,
death row.
you want to just get out of here?
Death row right now is it's far fetched.
All right, so I want you all to look into your crystal ball. And I'll start with you. Look into your crystal ball. What do you think happened with Jeffrey?
Oh man, like, how do you say it?
Meaning, did he kill himself? Did somebody kill him? Did somebody have him killed? Is he still alive? There's people that say that.
Yeah.
My man's alive. He paid some money to
somebody
get out.
supposed an unnamed person claimed his body, and nobody knows who that person is so far. That's
But I don't
something
find
else.
that weird.
That's very mysterious. Who the hell would do that?
Hey, if you're a millionaire, you're like, shit job, bro. Hey, my man, you gotta go pick up my dead scumbag brother, bro. I ain't gonna do it. You know, maybe that's
It
what
might
it
have been
is.
his brother, yeah, Mark or whatever his name is.
Or maybe he just sent somebody.
It's that
to go
old
do it.
'80s movie Body Double or something. That somebody.
Weekend at Bernie's. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there could be something. He could have. You never know, dude. He could have told one of his attorneys, "Look, I'm gonna pay you this much to be quiet. I'm gonna kill myself, and I just need you to send so and so to recover my body." You never know at this point in that situation.
But why would he need anybody to recover his body?
Who knows?
So they don't know.
Who knows?
Well, he probably wants to be put on ice or like.
They don't know.
He mentioned that.
He's
He
the kind
mentioned
of
that he
person that
wanted-
will want to be
yeah.
cryogenically frozen.
He wanted his
Right.
dick and his fucking head. frozen.
cryogenically
I
frozen.
read that somewhere,
His
and all
dick
these-
his, not his whole body. His
No.
dick and his head.
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely has some fucking.
I'm bored. I'm bored about
How
reading
about the
about
balls? No balls.
this. They didn't mention the testicles. I don't know.
I've never heard of that. Are you
Yeah,
serious? So
I,
he didn't
I'm
want
not- I
his-
didn't make
The
that up.
dick with no balls is just looks weird.
He had spoken about that in the past.
And what the fuck are they supposed to do with his?
You'd rather see a dick with balls?
Well,
I'd reanimate him.
Say, you know?
I'd reanimate him with his dick in his mouth. That's what I'd fucking do. Here, you're fucking alive. What a guy.
I didn't hear that part. That's fucking.
Yeah, I
that's-
read that
that's
somewhere
just
and all the shit that I.
irrational
So,
shit.
looking into your crystal ball, what do you think happened?
I mean, like you said,
If you're a betting man, we don't know what happened. Nobody was there.
like you said, the man's made enemies. Like you don't know who actually got to whoever, like the guard or anything, inside first, and offer him a higher deal to either take him out themselves or let someone inside to take him out. Like I mean, obviously, like you said, the man's got enemies. Like you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that actually will get together and off this person rather than letting that person get to you first.
Let all those dominoes fall.
Yeah.
So you think somebody got to him?
Someone had
You don't
to
think he
do
killed himself?
Like what Freddie said with the bone in the throat.
It's
or
a
anything?
U-shaped. I think it's called the hyoid joint.
Hyoid, yeah.
Or something like that.
It's a little.
little U-shaped bone in the
Yeah, and they said
that usually breaks when you're strangled manually, not when you asphyxiate like he did.
Yeah, I did also hear that it can happen when you hang yourself, and it can happen when you're an older person, which he was 66 years old. So, I mean, that bed ain't how high are those bunk beds?
I
they
mean, it
sleep
doesn't
in?
matter, man. I've seen a guy hang off of a fucking bench about 1.5 feet off the ground
You just gotta be
with
willing.
a sock.
You gotta be willing to tough out
Foot and a
the.
half off the ground with a sock. How the hell do you make that happen?
You lean forward and you just until you go.
Even if your neck doesn't snap right away, you stay there long
You
enough.
asphyxiate yourself.
Yeah, you'll kill yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't gotta hang off You don't gotta hang off a tree. I'm just saying, for that injury,
Right.
it seems like he would have had to jump off a top. It doesn't seem like he could just. They said he killed himself like leaning forward. You know what I mean? Like he was tied up and he just.
Like a
leaned-
Michael Jackson?
He was doing a Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal.
Right.
Exactly.
He went out in style, at least.
Yeah. I don't know if he had the fedora like I do, but
Possible.
yeah, he had. That's how he did it. Which it seems that bone would break more like when a violent fall, like you jump off something and then I was so disappointed when the medical examiner ruled it a suicide. Like how what percentage sure is that? Is there any chance that maybe it wasn't a suicide? Maybe somebody hung me and it looks like I killed myself. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so if you're gonna be Walter Mercado and look into your crystal ball,
Walter
I
Mercado.
don't want to be Walter Mercado.
but if you had to
If I had a
be,
crystal ball,
yes, what would you?
I would say suicide. I wouldn't think somebody. I mean,
Are you just saying that because you don't want to disagree with the government? Since you say you trust the government so much?
no, not because of that. Just personal opinion. I think I don't know the whole movie deal. The correctional officer getting paid off or whatever. I mean, you get paid off. Maybe
Dude, some of the stuff in the
not do
story,
checks. I mean,
like-
dude, listen. There's people on my job. That
Tarantino couldn't come up with the
There's
story.
the two worst things you could do as a correction officer is let the inmate that you're watching die or let him escape. Those two things,
If you guys let him die,
yeah, those two things you're automatically
let him escape.
You're gonna get canned. Those are like the two that are gonna seal the deal. Everything else is fair game.
those people got lawyers right away, and they're not talking. By the way, the two.
Of course, I mean because it's a big case. Everybody's gonna be on it. But I mean the whole that some mysterious hitman came in or the officer got paid off and fucking went in there and yoked the guy or strangled him to death and then made it look like he was hanging or something. I don't know, man. That's far.
They heard shrieks. I
Yeah,
don't know if you shriek when you're.
it's mice. There's a lot of mice at the jails.
When
Oh
you're,
yeah, I saw that. Supposedly his cell was full of vermin and it was very
Yeah.
disgusting. That's why he didn't want to be in there. That's why he wanted to be with those lawyers.
I don't know, but like, let's just say I was a gambling man, and they were like, "Hey man, we're gonna tell you the truth tomorrow. Just take a bet right now. We want to know which you putting your money on, red or black." Maybe because I want to believe in the conspiracy, I would think that they killed him, that somebody killed him. I mean, how hard would it be to find out who's in that jail? To find out, just leave that cell unlocked. Let's just go take a nap. Okay, you scumbag inmate cell right next to him. You just go in there and you choke this fucking guy. He's never fought anybody in his life. He's bought his way out of everything. That wouldn't be hard to do.
I mean, most correctional facilities have cameras everywhere, man. In the cells.
They didn't have it here, supposedly. Which, that would be like,
Yeah,
here it is.
That's weird too.
We're
I
going to
saw that.
release
That's
the
weird.
footage so this talk can die down and we don't have to worry about that.
I mean, the whole thing that he was taken off suicide watch, like right away after the attempted suicide, and then put somewhere where there was no cameras, that gives you more. I mean, I think that it's more chance that he.
Are you flipping now to the
No,
other
I'm
side?
just saying that he
You're
was
saying
a
that-
smart guy, so he's like, hey, you know what? They're not watching me,
He
whatever.
actually killed himself.
And he
So
fucking
you're saying
killed
he
himself.
bought his way into a good...
Yeah, man.
To a good
Dude, you could
suicidal point.
the
But why does he care?
The
I'm going to
shrinks-
kill
the
myself. I don't
shrinks
care
of
what
my-
you people are thinking
in the
about now.
forensic units, the shrinks in my job, those inmates tell them whatever they want to hear,
Yeah.
and they take
He's
him
a
off
smart guy.
suicide. Well, yeah, he's not a dumb.
But why would he care if there's a camera or not when he offs himself?
I mean, he probably knew there wasn't a camera because what they do is when, like Freddie was saying, that they were understaffed. What they do is they hire personnel which are not sworn officers. They call them correctional techs to watch cameras. So if you have extra cameras, then you got to hire the tech. So it's all about budgeting, man. So they probably didn't have the cameras, but they don't want to hire extra people. So they put them there, took them off suicide watch. I mean, just because of the guy being a big name and and all that, that's why all the conspiracy theories come in. But this is not as far-fetched as everybody thinks. This happens all the time, man.
That he killed himself?
Yeah, man. Happens
Yeah, I
all
just
the time.
think this guy's such a
It's just-
narcissist. He wouldn't do it.
It's like anywhere you work. There's people, the people that work there, they're going to be negligent, man. They're going to be lazy. They're not going to do their job right. It's not just in a jail. It's anywhere. And that's what I think happened, The guy probably thought, hey, he probably told the officer, hey, man, I'm good, man, Go to take a nap somewhere or take an extended lunch, man, I'm cool, whatever. Oh, okay, Mr. Epstein, whatever. And the guy took advantage and just killed himself. Happens all the time, man. People on my job get fired all the time for not doing a security check, and then the guy's been hanging for 6 hours. The guy's stiff like a fucking surfboard and cold as ice.
I just think that guy probably thought he could get himself out of there. Maybe he thought, man,
Yeah.
maybe he thought, so many people are gonna go down with me that even if I get out, they're gonna freaking kill me later. I don't know. I still think somebody killed him. If I were a betting man.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
How about you, Jonas?
I think you are a betting man.
Look into that crystal ball.
Like Babidi?
Like who?
Babidi
Who is that?
from Dragon Ball.
Oh God! I said no Dragon Ball references, dude.
Oh, my bad.
Look
Yeah,
into your Dragon Ball.
I think he, it's likely that somebody killed him. There's a lot of big names, too many big names in his case, where they were scared that he could have snitched or put out some information about them. Maybe he was blackmailing them, but now that he was actually like incarcerated and was getting charged for something big, they were scared that he was gonna throw them out there. So
He had a lot of dirt, I'm sure, dude.
I think it's possible that they could have killed him.
You're the tiebreaker.
I'm in the same boat kind of that you are. I want to believe that they killed him. If you would have asked me on Friday, I was more leaning towards yes, somebody definitely killed him. And I think it's possible, but I think it's less probable than I did a few days ago. I think what happened to that guy, I think that guy ran into the wall. I think that guy said, you know what, bro, my money, I can't do nothing more
Can I
than the money I
handle it?
have. I can't do this. I've been preying on these.
He was
been preying on the weak, and
He-
I'm in a place with the strong.
He was
Once you
extremely
go-
unhappy
you know
in
how
there.
it is. You know how it is in prison. Once you go there, it's a whole different animal. He preyed on people weaker than him his whole life.
No, they were gonna throw the book at him
He
now.
found himself in a place where he was going to be out of gas. His money was going to become irrelevant, useless,
Yeah.
and he knew that once they found out who he was, that he was not. It was not going to be good for him.
Yeah, he wasn't getting that.
And on
sweet
top
deal
of that, somebody like him, when he was going to be found guilty, he would have been in isolation for the rest of his life, and his lawyer probably told him that. Because somebody like him, they'll get him and they'll put him in a cell alone, probably for like 23 hours a day, right? For like most of the day.
close
Yeah.
management.
Yeah, he had
You
nothing
just come out for
really
a shower
at that
and half
point to
hour
look
of
forward
rec.
to.
That's it.
So what you're saying is you just think he offed himself.
I think I'm leaning more towards that. He just said, I hit the wall, my money can't do nothing more for me, and he offed himself. Even though
What
like,
percentage are you? You sound like you're almost on the fence.
I'm like 55-45. I want to believe
One more story comes out of some crazy shit, you're going back on the other side,
I would
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right
I'm
there.
there. But
Yeah.
but I'm just leaning towards that because it's what makes sense that he hit the wall. But then it's like you said, narcissistic people don't usually commit suicide.
They usually think I'll find a way out. I'll
Yeah,
I'll buy
committing
it.
suicide
I'll
to
pay
them
this guy.
is like sacrilege.
I'll go to another island. I'll disappear. They'll never
Something
find
like
me.
that.
You know.
But it
People
might
get
have
out of
just
jail.
got to a point where his attorneys might have told him something that just disgruntled him so bad that he said, you know what, there is no
That
getting out of
sounds
this."
like not something an attorney would say, because that attorney wants to charge, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, of
He wants
course.
to work. That's the worst thing that could happen to those attorneys, that this guy killed himself. I just lost my payday. This guy was going to pay my... You know how long this trial was going to take?
Oh.
All this discovery and all this crap. That was going to be
Subpoenas,
years.
interviews.
Oh, they got their
probably.
money. His lawyers get paid up front.
Not everything. I can't imagine they get paid everything.
For somebody like that, yeah, they will
Shit.
charge him up front. For a
Lawyers
guy
are like
that.
prostitutes, bro. You gotta pay up front.
For somebody like that, they will take all the money up front, or they wouldn't do anything for
Then
him.
the lawyers killed him. I've just changed my mind.
I don't think so.
Easy job. This is going to be a guilty anyways.
I think he just ran out of options, dude.
Yeah.
His resources weren't depleted. His options were.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
And I've seen me from personal experience. I've seen guys, that come in like that with money. Not many, but I've seen a few. And once they get in that cell, man, that 10x6 cell, those
Things
walls,
change.
those walls start closing in on you real quick,
Yeah,
man.
especially if you're not somebody from the street and you've never
Yeah.
been in jail, even in a jail before.
You're used to yachts and penthouses,
You can't
and,
handle that, dude. You'll crack
and you're
quick.
fucking in a room all fucking day, man.
And when you get out, the dudes that are around you look like that cop guy.
I mean,
That
but
wanna
like
bang
Freddie,
you.
like Freddie said, like, you know, he was gonna be by himself regardless.
Somebody
I'm
like
sure-
him, somebody like
Yeah.
him, that guy.
How
was
much
gonna be
contact
by
did he have
himself.
right now, you think, with other inmates?
Barely any, probably.
No? Because he's such a high-profile guy?
Oh yeah, that and his lawyers, I'm sure. You know, the lawyers.
Because they
you
gave
know,
him that cellmate. He
They,
had
they,
that-
they go and they get court orders and everything to keep separate from everybody and make him a special detail. And you know, when he goes to court, he gets a bulletproof vest and helicopters and the whole nine.
What a waste of money, dude.
Well, you know, it's good overtime.
I miss the good old-fashioned justice. All right, I think we've talked everything we can talk about this scumbag for now. I just hope they go after some of the other people. Just looking through my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. I hope the story doesn't go away. Sometimes, like the story always goes away eventually.
It's going away soon.
Yeah, it's kind of like that lady proclaiming it, the medical examiner proclaiming it a suicide. Kind of started putting that nail in the coffin on the conspiracy stuff, but how hard would it be to pay her to say that? I'm not saying they did, but how hard would that be? I'm trying to keep it going. How hard would that be to do it?
I mean,
It could be done, right? That's when I talk to people that are like,
gotta find it first. Right?
I'm sure they know who the medical examiner is in New York for that prison. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody could find that out. She's just like a regular doctor, I think, that it gets assigned to that. It's a forensic doctor, maybe, or something. I don't know. When people talk about, like, fucked up shit the government's done that, you know, they don't tell us about. And they're like, you know, I'm not saying the government did the 9/11 stuff, but like everybody's argument to that is like they would never kill so many people. They would never do that.
Nah, that's crazy. They would never do
They
that.
would say that, okay? But at what? How many people do you think they've ever killed one person?
The government here.
Yeah,
I'll tell you one situation where the government screwed the pooch. Waco. Remember Waco?
is that
David Koresh.
is that the David Koresh and the
They-
David
They
and
screwed the pooch on that one. They went in there
Okay.
way too hostile, dude. Killed a bunch of people. Killed
Were
a
those
lot of kids.
they killed innocent people.
They're a cult. Yeah, there are a
They're
lot
a
of
cult,
people that
yeah.
were armed, but they killed a lot of children too. They
That's
killed a lot of
another-
women.
That's another podcast. That's interesting.
Yeah, those kids are whack.
There's a lot of cases like that where the government gets involved and like, and then some people. Ruby Ridge, you ever heard of Ruby Ridge?
That sounds familiar. That's old.
Yeah, that's another one where the I think it was the feds went in there to they lived like out in the woods, and they almost did like entrapment where they went and they met with the dude, and they I think they wanted to sell him weapons or buy weapons from him, and they were involved with the Aryans, who are basically like
Oh, that
white
was like
supremacists.
that was like in Oregon. Or
Yeah,
something,
something
wasn't it?
like that.
Somewhere
I
in
don't
the
want to talk out
Pacific
of my ass. I
Northwest.
don't remember, but it
I
was
know what you're talking about.
yeah. And then they went in there and they
And there
shot.
was some kind of gunfire
Yeah,
exchange.
they shot them up, and
I remember that.
there was another similar one too, where it's like times where they say that they overstepped their boundaries. Cliven, the guy with the cows, Cliven. I'm not remembering the guy's last name. It was him and his sons, and they had this land, and then there's a lot of federal land that is just land with nothing on it, and he had cows, and if you have cows and they go into federal land, you're supposed to pay something called a grazing fee for them to go in there and eat, which he hadn't been paying it. He owed them like over $1 million. Like what he owed in grazing fees
Fucking grazing.
was more than everybody else, or almost what everybody else
Combined.
in the country combined owed in grazing fees. So they went and they started getting his cattle, and he rounded up like all his cowboy buddies, and they went out there armed, and there was like a standoff, and the government like backed off, and he was able to get his animals back. And I don't know why I got on this.
They waived the fees.
He's supposedly, last I read, he had not paid them. He still had not paid. So one of his sons took over like a wildlife station, and somebody got killed, and they did all kind of
That
crazy
was in
shit.
Montana, I think, wasn't it? I know that was in one of those weird
Wyoming.
Pacific,
One of those
one of those
places.
Pacific Northwest
Yeah,
states.
Cliven.
Brokeback
Wyoming.
Mountain. Some brokeback cowboys.
I forget his
Clyde Drexler.
son's name. No, that's Portland Blazers. They should have beat the Bulls in '93 or.
How do you know
whatever.
about Clyde Drexler? Too young for that one.
Can you look up the guy's name real quick? Cliven. There's probably not too many people named Cliven. That's the kind of guy who could one up the government, though, right? Somebody named Cliven. It's Liven.
It's probably in North Dakota.
Grazing, and then add grazing.
Grazing fee.
Yeah. Bundy.
Bundy.
That was their name. Cliven Bundy.
So the Bureau of Land Management.
Those were the people that were trying
Oh
to
yeah, that's over
charge.
there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That's who runs that over there.
His whole thing was he does not recognize the federal government. He recognizes his state government, and there should be no federal lands, and the highest.
Yeah, those people like that,
Power.
they don't even believe in that you have to have a driver's license to travel anywhere or insurance on your car or anything. There's a name for those people that do that.
The highest
They
power
yeah,
for him
they-
is the government.
They're claiming them. Those people that do that, what they called is they're claiming themselves to be sovereign or something like that.
All right, we've gone off on a tangent. That's for another day. We can talk about that. Super interesting. So, any parting thoughts on this scumbag?
Good riddance.
Good riddance. I hope he left some incriminating information so we can get the rest of the scumbags. That's what I say.
Highly doubtful. But
Yeah,
hopefully.
probably. All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Your glass is empty.
Empty, all empty.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.